Hello and welcome back. Today's audio excursion at Safe and Sound, Texas is boxing.
It's just part of the action with the world's only boxing robots, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots by Marx.
No, not that kind. We're talking about the boxes that are used for audiophile releases, specifically the Mobile Fidelity One-Step boxes and the Analogue Productions UHQR boxes. Very different in many ways. Some of them loved, some of them despised. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you want an Eagles high-end album, you're going to have to take the MOFI One-Step. And if you're looking forward to those new Steely Dans that are the highest possible quality, you're going to deal with the Analogue Productions UHQR box. So it is what it is. I thought maybe, though, some of you, especially any of you who might not have seen one or the other, could at least see a comparison of the two and kind of get your idea around, well, what you like, what you don't like. And sometimes in life we always say sometimes a blend of the two would be ideal. But in this case, we have in the market different methods. They each have their reasoning, I'm sure, and us as consumers just have to take what we're provided. But I thought maybe let's take a look and see what the differences are. I'll be interested to hear in the comments which you think is better and why, or which you don't like and why. So without further ado, here's a short video on each of these that explains specifically what's in the box and how it's laid out. So this is going to be showing you the contents of a Mobile Fidelity or MOFI One-Step. And I happen to pull Carole King Tapestry for this one. So let's take a look at what's inside and how it's boxed. So this has obviously been unsealed. There's a styrofoam here for protection. And then we have a cover, but it's just showing you the way the gatefold interior would look like, and the back cover. So again, front cover and gatefold, and then the back. So this is just heavy stock paper. We get a Ultra Disc One-Step layout of how it works. Now again, we know these graphics have changed, but the One-Step basically here shows that the father and the mother, which are usually steps that are in between the lacquer and the stamper, are eliminated. Normally this is what gives you the high yield and capability to make more stampers from mothers and make more mothers from fathers. Here with the One-Step, it goes from the lacquer that comes from the mastering engineer, and then it gets made into a stamper here, which goes to the vinyl then. So if they're going to make about 1,000 of the records from each lacquer, you have to have X amount of lacquers to support that many. And again, that's what made the issue with the Michael Jackson become so obvious, because it was going to be 40,000 of these, and 1,000 of those per yield would require 40 lacquers, and we knew they wouldn't run the master tape that many times. So that's there. Then we get to the actual records. So what they do is they have LP1, and they just have an image of that. Okay, and on the back it just shows you what the songs are on each side. There's 3 songs on side 1 and 3 on side 2. Obviously going 45 RPM, it's going to have a little less storage. And again, some of these have a little split seam on the top here, because these are shipped with the record inside, and the record inside is protected by this heavy stock. Then the actual LP comes in a MOFI sleeve. So you get 2 of those, obviously, covering the entire recorded album. So you don't really get a traditional cover and jacket for putting your albums in, which has the image of the actual front cover and back cover like you would see in the store on the originals. So the 2 LPs and then a another styrofoam piece to secure it all. And that's basically what you get in a Mobile Fidelity One-Step. All right, so now we're going to look at a UHQR, which stands for Ultra High Quality Recording by Analogue Productions. This is pressed at QRP, which is the record plant there in Salinas, Kansas, where Acoustic Sounds is part of this triumvirate of companies that are there, which yield both productions like this, the remastering and the production, then through QRP, and Acoustic Sounds is kind of the store front on the web. So we're going to take a look at Aqualung Jethro Tull, and this is a UHQR by Analogue Productions. So I'm going to come over, and so you notice we have some stickers here, and this one says officially licensed and authorized for resale by the record label. It says 100% analog masters, so this is like a real tape, and this says made in the USA, qualityrecordspressings.com, Quality Records Pressings logo, and it says innovation, precision, the best LPs ever pressed. And the bottom one says the Analogue Productions quality guarantee, original master tapes. We use the original master tapes and work with only the best mastering studios. Quality Record Pressings is, of course, plating and processing at the world's best pressing plant on virgin vinyl, unmatched quality control, meticulous test pressings, evaluated and quality control, deluxe packaging, which I'll show you, highest quality jackets and rice paper, inner sleeves, and then limited editions, less than 1,000 recordings in per stamper, meaning they won't make any more than 1,000 records per stamper, released in limited quantities. So this, if you take this out, then here's what we have. Very different kind of arrangement. This is kind of like a bookend when you look at it. You can see it has the Jethro Tull Aqualung like you would see maybe on a book on a shelf. So very different presentation. Okay, so you get, firstly, in this case, which would be an insert normally in an album or on the actual inner sleeve with, in this case, the words for the album. You get kind of a promotional thing with the technical specifications manual. It goes into very deep detail about the process. Okay. They have some promotional material as well regarding other pressings that they have available. But this is the core to me, is really giving you a full, transparent and visible detail of the methodologies, including photos of how these albums were produced. And I think that's obviously important in this classification of record. So then you have, there are going to be two LPs in here, and the first one in the inner sleeve is here, and there is a bubble wrap between the two so they don't bump up against each other. Okay, so this is clear, whereas MOFI didn't bring it out, but MOFI is black. It's kind of a clear, it's, in this case, it's called Clarity Vinyl, which means clarity, clearness. And then the second LP, you can see the kind of the original chrysalis green on there. So those are your two records, and they have, again, that bubble wrap between them. And then you get an actual gatefold of the album. As well as a certificate of authenticity signed by Mr. Chad Kassem. So you get the gatefold. I'm not going to open this fully because I don't care to, but this is like the original album, very sturdy. Backside, this is number 953, individually numbered here. Okay, So you can choose, if you'd like, to then place these records inside of this jacket if you choose to. There's openings here on each end. Or you can leave this as it is within this box the way it came. And then, so you have a choice. You can keep the box, you can take this out, put this in your collection with a outer sleeve around it, and put these up in your bookcase or whatever. So you have lots of options. And I think that's, I know one of our great VC people, Norman Maslow, really doesn't like this box, and I certainly can see it's very different. From a handling standpoint, it's kind of nice to get in there and pull it out and be able to easily access things. So I mean, I find it kind of nice, but the point is, this is what you get. And this is essentially the differences between the way Mobile Fidelity presents a one-step, where they really don't give you a cover like the OG and the originals and even the reissues, but Analogue Productions does. So that's a difference. Affects price maybe a little bit, I don't know, but my point is, it is a different way of presenting the product, and they're very, very high quality. So there you have it. Two different tales from two different companies, two different approaches. The one thing I do want to mention as an aside is I understand that if you order from MOFI and possibly Music Direct, the one-step, you can ask them to open it up and take the actual records out of the sleeve so that you reduce the chances of getting those seam splits. So it may be something you want to ask for. Again, to me, that's a problem if I'm buying it for someone, let's say as a gift, and I want it sealed. I think they really need to figure out after all these years how to deal with that situation, because it's really something that they have really had a lot of problems with, the most I've seen of any label whatsoever. So I think it should be resolved. But just FYI, there is that potential option. Call on the phone. I think, if you put in a web order, I think a lot of times you can put some notes there, but whether that'll be seen or not, I don't know. But you might want to call them and find out what the situation is, just in case you need it. Given the packaging of the UHQR by Analogue Productions, that's not an issue. With the records already taken out and bubble wrap put between them to separate them, that issue is already considered, and the actual true cover, which has the images as on the original release, is there intact with nothing in it. So again, two different approaches and frankly, two different outcomes. But there are other things that might be positive or negative to you on either side. So that's where we've taken our audio excursion today. I thank you for traveling along with me. If you would and haven't yet, please subscribe, hit that bell there, and if you do the black all on there, you'll get notifications. Likes with thumbs up are always appreciated, and any comments you have, I would be glad to hear your opinion on this. Which one did you like better and why, or which one didn't you like, and what's your opinion? Obviously, two different companies, two different approaches, but what do you think? Please put that in the comments. So for now, I'm going to say thank you as always for spending your time here at Safe and Sound Texas's Audio Excursion. Take care, everybody.